We're back. Yo, back to back. Like Dre said, it's your boy Mikey, man. Can we keep it real podcast? What's going on today? And if you were just joining me earlier, we were talking about RIIL, a 14 Division 1. That's enough to get up and move out of town. But we know the Unfinished Business Tour is coming up. And Champion Drive is definitely getting the diesel filled up in the bus, getting comfortable for that big tour coming up. Yo, big shout out to Al Spears. Everything he has going on at the Rocky Town Sports World. But don't forget, get out to Harris Casino and use promo code Voice. And they'll definitely hook you up. Get out there, see what they have going on. And big shout out to Breakthrough. Just came back from Delaware and about to go to DC. The Fed Hill 16th annual Memorial Day Cookout, a day we come together to remember our fallen brothers and sisters, as well as our own. Definitely big shout out the Low Life Speed Air, the Rough Riders are going down there. A lot of different crews, definitely a great place. You go to Fed Hill Cookout Channel and definitely register to win a free limo ride to and from. But we're gonna bring in no other but our guy Wayne the Voice Matthews. Where is he, Wayne?
Come on, man. You see me? I'm trying to enjoy the artwork. That is the Voice Sports Can We Keep It Real Network. What's going on?
NFT? That looks like you have an NFT. Like that artwork got to be an NFT, Wayne. With you in the picture.
Yeah,
you know what an NFT is?
That's Picasso.
That's right. Classic
Picasso
in the culture.
did that.
You are classic in the culture, Wayne.
That's right. Hey, gotta look good.
So we are watching Voice Sports with Wayne Matthews. Wayne, I just did a great podcast locally, an hour long about our state, our realignment high school division. How passionate I am about that. 14 Division 1, totally embarrassing. It's all political. All 4 coaches on the board, they all benefited from it. I think it's horrible. Disgusting.
Oh, man. I look forward to
Division 1 in high school football.
I look forward to looking into that a little more in depth before I comment on it, because I know for you to be able to voice your opinions on it, you done did your homework, and I never want to take away from the due diligence of that. Right? How about you tell me a little bit about it? I know you just said you did the podcast. What was the biggest, most alarming thing about it?
Nobody wants to play at the private schools, Hendricken and LaSalle. So everybody ran from D1. They all jumped in D2, and it just trickles downhill where you have these small schools that based on ranking, and even the ranking is so confusing. They go back 6 years. You can't go back 6 years for a high school ranking. Like, that's just not fair. They don't have the same kids they had 6 years ago, and it makes the small schools can't compete, don't have enough kids, and halfway through the year, they're throwing the white flag in because they don't have enough kids.
Well, that's kind of what happens here, but there's always an influx of kids in the public school system that balances it out. I would just say that the private schools, the charter schools, the border schools tend to snatch up the more talented student athletes. And rightly so in some cases, because they get better opportunities or got better options to put them in a better position to move on to the next level.
Oh, that's a fact. Samson, the bad guy, said he was running late. Shout out to Samson. Big shout out, Wayne. We have the big tour coming up. Get over to Harris.
Oh, Voice, man, it's going to be
awesome. If you use promo code VOICE right now, Harris is
VOYCE.
You're going to get hooked up. So definitely right now, use voice code VOYCE. Big shout out to Chris Arnold. Happy birthday, my guy, man. Salute to you. Definitely get out there. But I get into saying that because, the big tour is coming up. And we also can't forget Champion Drive is getting the buses all ready for the Unfinished Business Tour, Wayne.
Big year indeed. And with all these things that's going on the youth, middle school, and high school level, we still got spectacular semi-pro action. And in fact, not only did we have some great action this weekend as the Rampage played the Hurricanes, the Woodland Tigers played the Baltimore Phantoms, and the DMV Knights faced off against the Virginia Cyclones in front of my very eyes. We got the man behind it all, Major League Football Spring Elite President,
No, you
the
don't.
man, Coach James Crow. You know how we do. We get you to the top of the totem pole, baby. We don't talk to the little boys. Talk to the big guy. Where
You
Coach
really
Crow?
do.
Where Coach Crow at?
You really
Yeah.
do. You got Coach Crow in the house,
You see
everybody.
that? See that?
Crow, MLF in the house.
In the house. What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
You know how we do. We go to the top of the totem pole, talk to the man that's in control. You know how we do.
Indeed. I appreciate you guys having me this evening.
Man, for all of the great things you've been doing over the years in semi-pro ball, let's talk a little bit about this MLF move, because this one right here is a little different than what you used to seeing young ladies and young men. Let's talk, Coach Crow.
Yeah, man. So, a few years back, I was running another league and we were doing well. But at the end of the day, you can't manage another man's legacy. So, I let that legacy go and let that do what it was supposed to do, and put that back in the hands of who it belonged to. With this Major League Football, we're able to do a little bit more than just look at the East Coast. If you look at the logo I got up here, let me move to the left. Let me move to the right. Yeah, MLF national. What we're looking to do is we're looking to affect the nation, and at the end of the day, yeah, we have our regional teams right here in the DMV, which is beautiful, but we want an MLF across the nation, MLF Texas, MLF Florida, MLF Indiana, MLF Cali. So we're starting that movement right here, and we're just going to keep growing it, baby. We had the great weekend this with the NFL Refs Association, the Tom Bear Clinic, and we're just going to keep bringing you events like that month after month, year after year, until everybody's getting a piece of the action.
Man, that was crazy this weekend. You had some not just most events you go to, you might have an officiating crew just enough to get through the day. You had an influx of some of the best guys on the NCAA level out there, along with instant replay training going on in the press box. So every aspect of this game has been stepped up in a lot of ways with MLF.
Yeah, so we dealt with these guys in the past, and the events were, there were dice-sized events, but nothing to this magnitude. We had over 150 reps in between both locations that we had. We had 2 locations, with 3 fields, 9 games total on the weekend. We had reps from the Pac-10, SEC, ACC, MAC, all over. We had rookie NFL refs right on the verge of becoming NFL refs, folks that you're going to see on TV, probably in the Super Bowl one day. We had instant replay, we had challenges, we had some of the best teams in semi-pro playing. I mean, it was a hell of an event, and I swear I don't think we could have done anything better to make it better, but we're gonna try.
I know if you got it under your control, you're gonna take it and push it to the next level. With so many great games going on, great food, great atmosphere, the vibe is right. What's your aspirations moving on? I know, of course, migrating across the country is definitely on the agenda list. But what's your immediate goals for MLF?
So we got a lot of things in the hopper for MLF. Of course, we got the spring season popping off right now, which is going to be great. We got 10 of the best teams, I feel, in the country, really going at it, seeing who's best, who's number one. We got the DMV Knights on the table. We got the Virginia Cyclones on the table. We got the Baltimore Hurricanes, Baltimore Lightning, the 2A number 1 ranked team in the country, which is the DC Woodland Tigers, who's coming over to 3A and try to claim a title there. So, yeah, we are really stepping up our game, and our hashtag is "We Are the Competition." So we want to make sure that everybody understands that we are the competition. And if you want to play some great football, you want to go against the best, this is where you need to be. Or let us get you on the schedule and see how you measure up. So we got that going on with the spring season. We're gonna be bringing you a fall season as well. That's gonna start in August. So you're gonna start seeing correspondence for that, marketing for that, so we can get some of that same love and action for the fall season. If you want to see what we got right now for the spring, check out our website www.mlfaction.org. mlfaction.org. Check that out. You have everything. You got one on there. We got articles. We got games from the past. We got everything you want on the website. Go check it out. If you want to sign up for fall, go check it out. If you want to start at MLF Texas, check it out. If you want to start MLF Florida, check it out. We're there for you. You'll reach me. You'll reach one of my staff members, but we're here to make it happen. But yeah, we got big plans and big thoughts.
I like the vision. I think everything, the sky's the limit for you as we continue to move forward. Now, I know you got also in the midst of getting ready for this spring. You got a lot of weekly games coming up. We love to be involved with some of those game of the week joints. You know what I'm saying? Just to help put some high beams on it.
Yeah, so our game of the week this week is going to be a barn burner. We got the Baltimore Hurricanes versus the DC Woodland Tigers. So it's a lot of history. Oh yeah. You saw them both at the kickoff class, and they both kicked up. They both teams put up 4 touchdowns and won their game. So which one is going to prevail in this one? But with these two teams, so the DC Tigers, as of the last year or so, have been on a 20 some odd game winning streak. And the last loss that the Woodland Tigers took was last April, believe it or not, to the DMV Knights. That's the last time they lost. Right. So it's almost been a year since they lost a football game. And then you got the Baltimore Hurricanes, who won a championship in the fall league that they played in. And so both of these teams are championship teams. They're coming off of great fall seasons, and they're coming into the spring, and now they got to see who's best. And I think that's the beauty about what we got going on with the MLS Spring Elite, is that we're going to see who's best. It's no more talk. There's no more or no more, if I had this. No, you got what you want right in front of you, and that's the game of the week. And guess what? Are the Tigers going to take their first loss in a year, or will the Tigers prevail? And I'll tell you another thing, another key note about this game is that the Tigers have never beat the Hurricanes, like never. So
man, I like it because of the matchups. Now, the quarterback for the Baltimore Hurricanes, Tyler Woodard, I've been watching that young man since 5th grade. Got a nice control and command of the offense. He got a decent offensive line in front of him that don't lack size in any way, shape, or form. And like you said, can put up 4 touchdowns on a good team like the Rampage. That was very impressive. But to turn around and see Shackelford just as effective for Woodland Tigers, and I'll be honest with you, Woodland reminds me a lot the more I think about them, they're effective in all 3 phases: special teams, offense, and defense. So they're pretty balanced across the board. You're not going to see a lot of mistakes made in purple and yellow.
Yeah, so I mean, you got Woodard, who he's taking over for the great Marcus Parham. And we all know Marcus Parham. He's one of the greats in semi-pro football as far as quarterbacking in Baltimore. So he's taking over. So those are big shoes to fill, and he's been filling them well. He came out and had a command performance, like you said, Saturday, and he really took off Saturday, and he showed me something, because that's what I wanted to see from him. It's like, can you fill those shoes? And he showed, yes, I can fill those shoes. And then Shackelford, he's been hot for a while now. He can make, for his stature, he's a skinny kid. You think we're gonna break him in half? No, you're not. He's tough as nails, and he can make every throw on the field. That's the key thing about Shackelford. Every throw can be made. And he would dot you up if you don't put any pressure on him. So this is one of those situations where what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen, and who is the better team? And I think honestly, this is one of those games that is probably just going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to coaching. And can Bashir Sharif, who's his first year coaching the defense, and he was just playing last year. This is his first year back. His first year coaching. Can he get it done? Or is it going to come down to James Battle, who's a seasoned staff, Keith and those guys over there? They've been at it for a long time, and they know what's going on. who's going to really prevail in this matchup, and I think it's like I said, it's going to come down to coaching because both teams are very well coached. Both teams have it's a great matchup. And honestly, I do my predictions on, Thursdays, but this is a tough one to predict because you got two teams. You got a team on the rise and you got a team that's been there. So what can you do?
And
so
I really think the real hidden factor in that game is going to be secondary play. The Hurricanes got a very nice secondary. Their collection of safeties and cornerbacks played very well against the Rampage. Man, they couldn't even move the ball the way they wanted to against them. But I turn around and watch the same way the Woodland Tigers ran, and their secondary is just as sound. So I'm interested to see how the quarterbacks will be effective against those secondaries. So that could be either a huge scoring day or a lot of interceptions going in the other direction.
Yeah, you like the secondary. I like the running backs. I think Chris Smith over there on the Baltimore Hurricanes side, Speedy, it's what they call him. He can be a major factor in that game. And then we got Sonic, Keith Dickens. Who's gonna give their team the edge because those guys are electric. You give those guys a crease and they're gone for 80. So who's gonna get that sneaky touchdown to put them over the edge? And I think, like you said, you think secondary. I think it's gonna come from the backfield. I think it's going to come from the backfield. Is it going to be Chris or is it going to be Sonic? We got to figure. I just can't wait to see the matchup. It's the game of the week. We're working on the streaming, so hopefully we'll have it streamed. Maybe your guy Samson can hook me up.
It is.
Yeah, so working on the streaming, and yeah, we're gonna have that game streamed, and we're gonna have it flowing live on our MLF platform on Facebook, and probably hopefully on the website. So that's the goal for this weekend, and they're playing at Randallstown High School at 4 p.m. So go out, show some love to that game. I'm gonna be there. They're gonna be there, and it's like I said, it's the MLF game of the week.
Always got to be a great one. For those people who want to get in contact with you, one more time, give me your contact info so we can let them know how to get in contact with my man, Coach Crow.
Absolutely. MLF Action. MLFaction.org. It's all on there.
There you go.
It's all on there. You'll reach the whole staff. Send us an email, leave a comment, hit us up on Facebook. It's all on there for you. But yeah, check out these games. Oh, before I go, I want to give a big shout out to Prince William County Schools. Big shout out to Daryl Overton. Big shout out to Mr. Parker, Freedom High School, Potomac High School. Appreciate everything you guys did for us this past weekend. Without you, it's not possible. You look out for everything I got going on. I asked for it. You make sure I have it. Thank you. Mr. Parker, Miss Bankert, Mr. Parker, Daryl Overton, Steve Bryson, Principal Bryant. Love you guys. Thank you.
My man. You have an incredible night. Tell the missus I said what's up.
Indeed.
My man.
Appreciate everyone.
Gentlemen, there you have it from the man himself, El Presidente, James Coach Crowell, in the place to be. MLF. Go to the website, MLFaction.org, and find out more about the tremendous games taking place this spring and beyond. Maybe you need to sign up if you're in shape. If you ain't right, don't waste your time, baby. Yo. Mikey, you muted. Man. I know what, before you go, Crow, special shouts out to E&J Family Concessions. They hooked it up all weekend. If I had another person walk past me doing like that.
E&J Family Concession and Home Away from Home Concessions. Home Away from Home was in Potomac. That's my man Mike Wilson. And E&J, great families, great companies. They had the food popping all weekend. Love the motion fries.
No doubt. Man, gotta love it. Man, we'll get up with you this weekend, Coach, and get an update on everything as the spring season goes on. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan. Hey, invite me back anytime.
All right, thanks,
I got you. My man, my mellow. Ladies and gentlemen, Mikey, what you got? My man.
Oh man, what's going on, Wayne? We back? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I was talking here, talking Coach Crow.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, man. But I love everything he has going on, man. Good stuff going on at the mlfaction.org. Definitely check them out. With me, Wayne? Can you hear me?
Man, now there may be some updates on the NFL free agency since last week. I'm pretty sure we got Bailey sitting there in the Chrome room. What you got for me, Mikey? What you got for me, Mikey?
Here we go.
So
There she go, ladies and gentlemen.
here
Yep,
I
that's
am.
we must be at the crossroads anytime we get a chance to see Bailey, and she's smiling. So it must be
Yes.
something happened really bad to my team. Please tell me what's going on, Bailey.
All right. So as of right now, we have Deshaun Watson just signed with the Browns, a guaranteed of $230 million. Russell Wilson signed with the Broncos for a guaranteed of $70 million. Aaron Rodgers had a extension with the Packers for $101.4 million. We have no idea where Baker Mayfield is going because I believe the Colts just signed Matt Ryan for $94.5
Look, I'm
million
gonna be
guaranteed.
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though he did most of his time in Cleveland, I think Baker's a better fit for us than Trubisky or Haskins. Haskins can come off the bench, and we can keep Trubisky. We can let Randolph go. I wouldn't mind getting Baker Mayfield if he can give us a realistic price.
Well, he was projected to go to the Colts, but I don't know I don't know where he's going to go, if he's going to be able to stay in the
Coach to
NFL.
Ball Patrol. They don't want him.
You might be
He
going
wants to throw the
home.
ball. He guns.
Unfortunately, I liked Baker, so that's kind of disappointing for me as
I've been
a
knowing his
Baker
teammates
fan.
been saying for years that he is a bad teammate, a selfish teammate. Even from college, it's been rumored that he was a very selfish person. But
That hurts my heart.
I'm a selfish person, so I mean,
I mean, I get it. I mean, to an extent, I get
Did you
it.
just copy that?
I mean, I get why
that guy.
when you're in the NFL, you have to be selfish to an extent. So I get it, but I feel like also people just like to talk smack sometimes, just like throwing things out of
Well,
proportion. So maybe he is a bad teammate, but I guess we
I
won't know
understand you got to
until
be your best. I understand you got to be your biggest fan because if you don't believe in yourself, who will? I get that part, but
exactly.
when it point where it starts to affect other people negatively, yeah, at some point in time, either you need to scale it back or recalibrate how how you doing things. But as a quarterback, you're like always going to be the focal point of attention, regardless. So those things, I would have thought in that time span, he's always been a quarterback. So it ain't like he was a receiver and just crossed over. This is something he's been groomed to do since Little League down in Texas.
Right.
So if he hadn't changed before then, I guarantee he won't change now. I'm just saying, as a quarterback, he gives us way more options than Matt Trubisky does, and a chance to win some football games. And quite honestly, if he has some realistic numbers in his asking price, I believe we could go with him as a franchise quarterback. But
The Steelers
uh,
must be
Fair.
desperate. They must
we
be
getting close.
desperate
We
when
getting
it comes
close
on
to it.
Mayfield.
We getting close to it. I'm sorry, but you say Trubisky is the best answer. Yeah, I'm desperate, bro. Because I
Yeah,
play
yeah, I guess.
Haskins for real.
I'll tell
I
you what,
play
Aaron
Haskins. I
Rodgers
get the
getting
money.
that. Aaron Rodgers getting that kind of money. I just don't understand how you can give a guy that been around that much, that long, that type of money. The Browns giving this dude like 230 million guaranteed. I don't know how they can just throw this type of money. around like that.
Because typically
Yes,
the
it's doing
quarterbacks
fine.
are the faces of the team. They're gonna get publishing. They're gonna get a whole bunch of attention, but they also gonna have the weight and the pressure and the burden of the team's success on their back just as much as the coach. Usually when a team is not successful on the football field, right after they blame the coach, they look at the quarterback.
I
Oh,
feel
that's
like
a
that's
fact. That's
happened.
a fact. I want to give a
So
big shout
there's a
out.
level.
Go ahead.
I think there's a level of responsibility that comes with that position. But the funny part is, all 11 positions are skills and are valuable. Because as a quarterback, I don't care if they give me $230 million. If my offensive line can't protect me, I'm destined to fail anyway.
That's
If you
exactly
have a
what I was about to
receiving
say.
core, you got a receiving core that can't catch or don't have a heart to go across the middle and go get the football. You still at their mercy. If you got running backs beside you that can't run the ball because you eating up all the salary cap, after a while, is your enemy of your enemy your friend, or is you your enemy?
I mean,
Two
yeah,
hundred
you
and thirty
definitely have
million.
a
That's a lot
point
of
there.
bread.
Yeah,
It is.
that's definitely, and it's guaranteed money. I mean, is this the new method staff it? Like, but let's take this time to definitely thank our the people that helped us make this possible. Big shout out to Coach Pennington, Pastor Pennington has going on. Go pick his book up, Through the Smoker, What Barbecue Can Teach You About How God Prepares a Man. I think this book is great for any coach that are leading men. Actually, the professor got it, not the nutty professor, but our professor in the lab, Clinton Robinson. He picked up a copy of the book, and he's going to be interviewing Pastor Wes Pennington coming up. So start the new year off right. Go to RallyPointMen'sMinistry.org and get the book. Definitely, big shout out to our Monterey Coel Bankers, Voice Sports, everything they have going on. And coming up, get out to Harris Resort, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Promo code, what is it, Wayne? Promo code Voice.
VOYCE. Know how we do it. We'll hook you up, get you right.
Promo code
Man, I'm
Voice.
excited.
The unfinished business tour, we getting Champion Drive ready. The buses are getting ready to take off, Wayne. It's
Yes,
gonna
sir,
be
buddy.
exciting. You guys getting ready to hit the road.
But if you're gonna
Hey
ride, you
Wayne,
better ride like a champion.
Wayne,
Yes, ma'am.
did you see that you no longer have Juju?
Of course I saw it. I told you that though. I told you that a long time ago though, but I know you didn't pay attention to me because all the time he's spending doing TikTok, he could have been catching the football. So it's
Did you
all
see
good.
that
And then you want to ask all that money.
what's his face?
Coach Spaffrey was good. Then all that money you want to access for, man, there's no production value behind it. Even with Ben was throwing the ball, if you're going to get the separation for Ben to target you, man, what can we do with you?
Speaking of
I
TikToks,
can't.
and Juju,
Huh?
he reached Mahomes' brother Jackson reached out to Juju to do a TikTok with him.
Yeah, man, I ain't mess with that, man. We not here to win TikToks. We here to win Super Bowl championships. You want to be on the internet? That's
Yeah.
cool.
To win TikToks, Wayne said. We're here to win
I
Super Bowl
ain't seen
champions.
nobody win an NFL championship off TikTok. So while he worried about
maybe
TikTok,
this will be a first.
we worry about AFC championships. So it's all good for him to do what he chooses to do. I just know he not gonna do it here.
And
Yeah.
Von
So
Miller
what
and the
happened?
Bills.
So what happened since y'all lost Calais?
No, we didn't. Not yet.
Yeah, you lost him. He gone. Get over it. He's
No,
gone.
not yet.
He's
Double
gone.
down, universe.
He's gone. Y'all not gonna pay him. He's gone.
Fun.
Mikey, who
canceled.
y'all looking to scoop up over there in New England? Look, he looking at the
England
board
usually
with
waits, and New England, I don't know. They never. I think the last big sign that New England was Stephon Gilmore. Usually they don't take anybody ever on the first day, second day. Bill Belichick is known to pick up the scraps, and he's usually pretty good at it.
Devin McCourty your safety. Devin McCourty just signed a $8 million extension.
Yeah, I didn't think 8,000. That wouldn't have been.
I read the number wrong. My bad. 8 million.
Him and his brother, making big money. But I want to take this time to just play this quick video. We lost a hockey player this week that he got hit head on by a drunk driver about a month ago. Him and another hockey
Wow.
player on the way to
Oh, geez.
16 Matt Dennison. The Bruins actually, put a jersey in his number, had a moment of silence. So I just wanted to play
Oh.
his send off real quick. Big rest in peace to Matt Dennison, number 16. And I hope something is finally done about drinking and driving. This is the second time this year since January that we lost a high school student. With somebody getting behind the wheel, intoxicated, and there's no reason for it, especially when you're a fireman, like this gentleman was. And I hope justice is served for anybody that decides to get intoxicated, get behind the wheel,
Wow.
drive intoxicated. But rest in peace to Matt Dennison, definitely.
Man, I was blown away by the story, and just watching the clip here a second ago, man, just took me back to those thoughts, man. Again, for those people who are moving around the country, we ask that you always move as safely as possible. Give consideration to the other people around you. A lot of times when I tell my family members, be careful, be safe. It ain't necessarily because of them, it's because you don't know what the next person's going through or what they doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, just keep your head on the swivel, be safe out there as y'all move around, people. Um,
That's definitely a fact. We got Emerson that will be coming in pretty soon. So I figured let's bring him into to Voice Sports. Emerson was on once before. He had something he's pretty compassionate about. He wanted to speak about the Interscholastic League making the moves that they do, and it's
Okay.
just a shame that these high school programs it's just motivated by politics. It's the older coaches, respect to them, but they want the easy wins. They don't want to have to like do what everyone else is doing. They want to run from it, and I'm not just saying these are facts, and it's just a shame because I have a four-team Division One out of 43 teams, and then you have a Division Three with 16 teams. It's just embarrassing for the state that you're in.
right.
That's
Now you know what?
crazy.
There's something I want to talk about, but I'm kind of scared to go at it because it's a touchy subject. But I know Bailey will probably have some great insight on it. Um,
Hit me
we were
with it.
talking the other day. We were talking the other day in the group about the young man who had just won the women's swimming competition. Transgenders in high school sports, and my thought on it was at first it was like, wow, no, there's no way to say something without offending somebody in this capacity. But then I said, if that's the case, then if you're going to have transgenders, then transgenders should compete against each other.
I agree
If
with
you're going to
that.
have male and female, if you're going to have a male division and a female division, if you classified as a transgender, the transgender should compete against only other transgenders.
Agreed.
Because if you're born as a male, but you declare yourself female and you compete against females, the belief is you're at a physical dominance advantage. If you're a
Which is
female, if you're a female and you're taking hormones and steroids to become a stronger male version or version of a male, then those things give you certain advantages and disadvantages over true males. So if you're going to be a transgender, what I propose to it is, if you're going to be a transgender athlete, then you should be only allowed to compete against transgenders. What do you think, Bailey? I mean, it's the only way I can see it being fair in any way, shape, or form, and not tell them they can't, compete. Period.
I agree, actually, 100%. Do we actually agree on something for once? Wow. No, but yeah, I do agree with you on that because we want it to be equal, but then at the same time, with the hormones or lack of hormones or different hormones, it does give you a particular advantage, or just men are built very different than women genetically from the start. So it's like you have to try to even the playing field and be inclusive at the same time, and that's a very slippery slope to go on.
Very slippery.
Oh,
Now, Mikey, I know you was talking the other day, Mikey, that you was saying that how many transgenders declaring themselves as females but were born males currently hold female championships right now?
I know in Connecticut, out of 17 girls' championships, 15 went to boys identifying as girls. Let me tell you what
You hear that, Bailey?
15 of the 17?
Out of 17 female categories, 15 of them, the champion or the top seed in that is a transgender male.
They say we have to be fair. Be fair. Why? Like, be fair about what? And every woman that isn't speaking up about this after years and years of women's rights being stepped on and finally getting to the place that women are in this country, right? If every woman don't holler and about this, you're gonna see girls sports be gone in 5 years. I'll tell you that right now. Girls sports gonna be gone. There's no place in sports for transgender. No place. You know what? It's your decision. You want to be a weirdo. It's your decision. You're born a man. You participate in men's sports. You're born a woman. You participate in women's sports. And this has nothing to do with anyone's sexuality preference. Because respectfully, I don't care if you like the hole or you like the pole. It don't matter. You're just weird.
Oh,
I mean, I'm being real. Like, it is what it is, man. You're ruining sports. You're dislocating girls' arms, no matter what. I don't care if. Oh, all right. So let's let LeBron James tomorrow go play in the WNBA. You know what I mean? Or let's let.
Hold on. You say if LeBron James put on a wig like Juwanna Man, it wouldn't be right for him to play in WNBA and dunk on everybody.
I mean, he'll be scoring 3,000 points a game. I mean, just think about. All right, take Kwame Brown.
3,000.
Kwame Brown comes out of retirement and goes in the WNBA. Let's take Mayfield. He identifies as a girl. All right, let's put him in female boxing. How does this swimmer go from 475 and all of a sudden you're beating Olympic medalists? It's not right. I see some pictures that was like horrible.
I see your thoughts churning, Bailey. I see your thoughts churning,
I'm just taking it all in.
What's on your mind?
I don't know. I just think it's really crazy that, like, we're in this position now, right? Like, talking about this. Like, if we were to talk about this 3 years ago, it'd be a much different conversation.
We was talking about this 3 years ago,
but it was still a different conversation than it is now.
Not really.
Right.
It was transgender.
It wasn't as popular. It wasn't as like transgender in general wasn't as accepted as it is now.
Maybe not accepted, but the narrative wasn't being pushed things as well by the media at that point.
So you saying it's worse now than it was 5 years ago? And if that's the case, what would it be 5 years from now? If you feel like it's already bad now.
I think sports wise, worse, yes. In general, the topic itself has gotten better, but I feel like in sports it's still very black and like it's very gray. It's very slippery because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to
Right.
offend that community whatsoever, but you also want to, you know, praise biological male athletes and biologically female athletes for their talents and their efforts.
What happens to the young girl
But
that's
now,
going
now you
to
got
high school?
transgenders that's crossing those lines, and it's changing everything. Like
There was just an
at first,
assault a couple of years
I
ago.
really didn't feel like it was enough. At first, to be quite honest with you, I didn't feel like it was enough reports of it for it to be a topic for me. But when I saw the stat line that Mikey sent me, where 17 out of 17 female sports, 15 of them are dominated by transgender males. Like, yo, this is getting a little egregious.
Oh no, and it don't stop there. We had a situation in a high school a couple weeks ago where there's he's definitely a boy. He's got Larry Johnson on him. He's a guy in the girls' bathroom. The girl's like, I'm
This
not
guy,
comfortable with this. The girl student, I'm not comfortable with this. Oh, I have a right to be in here because I identify as a girl. We just had another
I mean, they would
situation
be
in
uncomfortable for
Pennsylvania.
more than one reason, though, not just because.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't, like, all right, then give them a transgender bathroom. I don't know, but we can't make everybody happy. We can't worry about everybody's feelings. You know what I mean? You have to draw a line somewhere, man. I wish I had a gavel. I think I'm going to get a gavel. I'm like, no, no,
I
no,
hear you, but
no,
how do you draw a
no,
line?
stop.
If you got transgender, so then you're saying that a male bathroom and the female bathroom, that now there should be a transgender stall.
I
That's
mean, like, I can't have, if I get a phone call from my daughter, she's like, Dad, this thing won't get
there's
out.
a
I'm in the bathroom. Like, I'm going to be there in a minute, and he's going to get out the bathroom. You're born a man. You're going against God's will for one. It's going to be the absolute sin if you're any close to religical. Yeah, religical.
Come
Religion.
on, Bailey. I see it on the tip of your tongue. She want to say something so bad.
I'm so
Come
confused.
on, let's keep it
Keep it
real.
real, man. Like, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I'll
Keep
keep it
it
real.
real. There shouldn't be
All
a
right,
filter here.
all right, I'll keep it real. There's a very big difference between a woman or a woman presenting person going into a male bathroom versus a very male presenting person going into a women's bathroom. Like you guys wouldn't be at normally
Right.
if a woman presenting person were to go into a male bathroom,
I know what you're getting at.
you
Not
guys
to
wouldn't
strong
be
take
instilled
away.
with
You're right.
fear of wow, what's going to happen to me or my kid or my niece or like my niece or like just some random person like in the bathroom. You'd
I
be like,
totally
okay,
get it
this is
because
what they're
as a
doing.
female, you're talking about a guy that's in the bathroom that technically is still a man, and he can still do certain things to you or rape you or take advantage of you if he chose to. That's what you're
Yes,
As
saying,
because
you
right?
know,
literally 1 in 3 women
Versus
have
versus a
been sexually
female walking
assaulted.
into a male bathroom versus a female walking into a male bathroom acting like a dude. You know what I'm saying? She poses no real threat to no guy, but
Hypothetically.
it is what it is. It depends on how you look at it too.
wasn't there a situation not long ago where something happened to a girl, and then the kid got suspended from that school, went to another school, and he assaulted another girl? I think
Yeah.
I heard it on the
In the
horse.
restroom, yes, it was.
Yes, in the restroom. Um, that happens
Yes.
over and over. I mean, what's to stop a predator from saying, "Oh no, I identify as a girl. I get a right to go in that bathroom," and somebody's in that bathroom. Are you not gonna feel offended and just because this person says I identify as a male, who's gonna stop that person from going in that bathroom with you?
Or the locker room.
Interesting topic.
Or the locker room, and there has been assaults, documented assaults. It's in our constitution now that schools cannot discriminate against this, but I think Florida has said absolutely not. We vetoed it. Others, not Rhode Island vetoed it, but Florida vetoed it. Other states had vetoed it and made laws against this. I mean, we just can't
I say we accept
everybody.
all people, but also keep in mind of how to go about it to make everybody feel safe, especially when it comes to schools and locker rooms and bathrooms.
Right.
I don't know how yet. I guess make a separate like family bathroom, maybe. I don't know. Or
Every stop, we have 10 bathrooms. Say in the next 5 years, there's
Hey,
something else that somebody feels uncomfortable with. Why can't I go to school with my dog? You know what I mean? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Like, when do we
you
stop?
technically could if it's a service
Yeah,
dog.
service dog, yes. And then you have a whole nother list. Who says it's a service dog? That's the thing with service dogs.
The
There's
vest on his
nobody.
back says it's a service dog.
Well, I can buy a
yeah,
vest,
I
right?
got a
I could
pit
buy a
bull.
vest
I
at
got. Look,
Amazon.
I got a CNI pit bull. Uh,
Yeah, I
I got a
seen this
CNI pit
happen
bull gonna walk with me.
at the
You cool
Cumberland
with it?
Farms. Lady's like, it's a service dog, lady. You got a rope around its neck. You're dragging it everywhere. It's like it's not a service dog. But who decides what's a
No,
service dog or
I
not?
I challenge the viewers and the listeners at home to sit down and have this conversation with their families. Sit down and have these conversations with their friends. And in some cases, if you have those kind of relationships, sit down and have these conversations with your coworkers, people at your churches,
Careful with your
because
coworkers. I could make
these
you
conversations are the ones that be quite honest with you, we need to have, but because it's such a touchy subject, we never really discuss it. Not only
know,
on air, but out in the open. It's usually somebody makes a definitive statement and leaves it alone, or someone sitting there and instead of speaking what they feel intently, they think about how their feelings, how their statements could hurt someone else, versus truly speaking about how they feel. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but your whole countenance changed when this subject came up, Bailey, and usually you're happy to just bash my team. So
I will
these
never
kind
not
of
be happy to
conversations
bash
need
your
to be
team.
held.
the Voice reporter R&B actually said Governor Halcombe has vetoed the ban on trans girls in school sports that had passed out of the Indiana legislation. They were going back and forth on his Horseman page the other day, and I've been vocal about this for a long time. I just think it's like it's out of pocket, it's out of line, and I'm speaking for the woman. Like I don't understand how women. And here's the thing: this is why people are afraid to say anything, because anytime you go after the LBABC, I don't even
Get
know
off the
the
mafia.
alphabet. Anytime you go after, anytime you mention, nobody wants to say boo. And these groups are becoming religions. You know what I mean? And like they're definitely becoming religion, and everybody's afraid to say something. And people can say, "Oh, you're against gay or lesbian." No, I don't care. Like I said, your sexual preference, it don't matter. But that other stuff, that's weird. You know what I mean? That's just weird. You're born a man, you should be a man. You're born a woman. Where do we stop in this country just trying to make everybody happy?
I mean, if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then there you have that power to change
Oh,
to
I'm
how
always
you
gonna be
feel.
white. I'm always
What?
gonna be white. I can't
But when
identify
you
as
make
a
that
black
decision to
guy.
make that change, you should be prepared for whatever consequences or repercussions that come with it in
Yeah.
terms of the ability to do and not do certain things. So if you're going to be a male, if you're being male and you're going to transfer over and be a female, that's your choice. No, I mean, look, that's knock yourself out, do your thing, but don't think that because you weren't successful at men's basketball, now you're going to call yourself a sister and you're going to go play for the WNBA. Because the minute you see a transgender playing in the WNBA, then I'm pretty sure it's going to go roughshod. But in the
Swimming.
meantime, as long as females are playing in the female leagues and males are playing in the male leagues, then there may be a room for someone to create transgender leagues or transgender sports so that they can compete in their own bracket fairly. But to continue to argue over whether a female should get involved in men's sports is fair, or whether a man comes over and crosses over into female sports, I believe that if you're going to do it, transgenders need their own. They need their own lane. And when it gets to the point that you got transgender events in the Olympics and all of the other stuff, then so be it. But there's no way you're going to put them one of the other category and it not be unfair. Again, I encourage our listeners and our viewers at home to have this conversation with your loved ones, your coworkers, your family, and find out and see where everybody else around you's opinions are. Because ironically, in today's climate, if I sit here and say something 3 times straight and Bailey screams facts and Mikey screams facts, that is still public opinion. It's not a fact. It's not factual because they agree with me. So there is no true right or wrong to it. What you have to do is really sit back and see how it best impacts you and how you're going to move forward beyond that. So I encourage this topic to come up because, again, it's probably one of the biggest topics that took place in our group in about at least 2 weeks.
I'll tell
That's
you
the
what,
first time
though,
I
Wayne,
seen everybody go off.
Everyone left the damn room as soon as we started talking about it. They said, we out of here.
Right.
But let's change gears. We got a guest in the green room. Emerson Kilgore is going to come in. Emerson went to Syracuse University, lineman over at Syracuse, played D1 football. He's an official in Rhode Island. Very, very passionate about Rhode Island sports. Now, Emerson wanted to, give his opinion about what he thinks about Rhode Island going to a 4-team division and how uncomfortably embarrassing it is. Emerson, what's up?
Mr. Kilgore, how you doing?
I'm doing well, folks. How you guys doing?
Oh,
another
I can't
day.
complain.
Good.
Still my line.
Welcome back.
Hello.
My man.
So you know already what came out. We talked about it earlier. The 4 teams in D1 out of 42 teams, we have 14 in D2. Division 3 is like a traffic jam right now. 16 teams, and we already know we got teams that won the Super Bowl last season that are going back to D3. They're going backwards. Emerson, what do you think about everything going on in Rhode Island? Because I said earlier that Mike Lunny has not made a good decision. The only thing that we know that he's done since taking over was throwing a basketball off his porch and making a shot. As an interscholastic league director, he is embarrassing. Lemur needs to step down. I mean, we got to rebuild from the bottom down.
So I'll be honest with everyone here. There's only one word that can describe how I feel about how Rhode Island football is right now, and it's disgusting. This is an absolute embarrassment for the state of Rhode Island. In the top division to have 4 teams is that you don't do that. And it's unfortunate because this really affects the kids. And I was talking to a young man yesterday who's been in and out of coaching for the past few years. And one of the things he said is that, coaches are really going to start, kind of passing by Rhode Island again because they don't know if, the competition here is going to translate into, what they can do in college. And I have to agree with that. I mean, you got 4 teams in your top division. Out of 42, 43 teams here in the state, like that's to me, that's ridiculous. And honestly, that's a failure of leadership. That's a failure. And that's from the top to the coaches, to the AD saying that this is okay. This is not okay. And it really is as simple as that. I mean, I don't know who said what, and I'm not going to get into all that, but above all, the bottom line is that this is just disgusting. I mean, this makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, Rhode Island football, it takes 2 good steps forward. Now it's taking 3 giant steps back. And it really is unfortunate because, to me, I mean, with my history, and again, I know I was a little bit different. I worked for the athletic ability I had, but the thing is, I had to work for it, and I had to go against the best. You know what? And when I was in high school, both football and wrestling, I had to take some lumps. I had to go against the best guys that play football. I had to go against the best guys that wrestle. And because they all knew, Emerson probably wasn't going to win or probably wasn't going to dominate the block or whatever, but he's going to learn. He's going to figure this out, and eventually he's going to be good. And that's what these coaches are really like, taking away from these kids. Like, in order to be the best, you got to play and compete against the best. And they're taking that away from these kids right now, and it's something that shouldn't be tolerated. But unfortunately, everyone's just, oh, well, Hendrick and LaSalle, blah, 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 this and that. Honestly, you know what? If I'm these coaches, you know what? I go back to Division I and I give it my absolute best shot against these guys. I just go off and do whatever trick plays and everything else, whatever it takes to get on the scoreboard. That's what I'm going to do. I was just thinking about this a little while ago. Like in order for in the Bible, in order for David to slay Goliath, David had to go against him. And, he might have been nervous. He might have been fearful, but he went after him only with a slingshot and took him out. Okay. And sometimes that's what you got to do to these big guys. You got to hit them with whatever you got and do what you need to do. But these coaches don't even want to do that. And it's just unfortunate.
So you think the way they recalibrated the school system brackets, put the players at a disadvantage where they can't be adjudicated fairly?
Yes, I think that, and it'll probably take a little bit here, but honestly, I mean, Rhode Island football was starting to get, looks, and not just from one school, which everyone thinks. Everyone thinks, oh, I go to one school or this school that I'm going to get looked at. Like, honestly, there was talent all over the state in all different divisions. And the problem that I see right now is that, a lot of these college coaches are like, okay, like you're not playing the top talent in your state. How's that going to equate to playing the top talent or the top talent in my division in football, wherever that division may be? That's kind of a thing I would think about. But I don't think folks are thinking about that. I just think they're thinking about survival. Like, oh, well, we can't compete against these guys. Let's just go down and do the best we can. That's not the mentality to have. All you're doing really is teaching these kids to duck the top competition. Like, that's the big thing. You're ducking the teams that are, legitimately the better teams in the state. And, I don't want to play them because they're just that good. Like, that's what you're teaching these kids. Or the really good competition we can't go up against. We're not there. But to me, it's like, that top competition, if I'm a head coach, I'm telling all these guys, we're going to give it our absolute best shot. We're going to swing and shoot our shot and do the best we can. They're not even doing that. Everyone wants to drop a level, drop divisions and be done with that. That, to me, that's just embarrassing.
Why not use it, play those teams as a learning experience, though?
Exactly. Take
the top talent, take that, what you learn from those games, and use it to your advantage to better yourself and your coaching.
Because really, you have all the coaches that want the easy way, and they're the ones making the decisions. They want the easy way to the state championships. They don't want to play the hard competition. That's the problem here, and the league allows that to happen.
And it's just an embarrassment.
So by recalibrating who plays who and what division you fall under, there's certain teams that they would typically play that they will not longer play. So they got an easy road to the top, basically. So when they get to the end, is it one where all divisions have a playoff, or they just will continue to be separated by their divisions?
Well, they're going to be separated by their divisions, but again, like traditionally, the certain teams have always been in Division I. And I know a couple have fallen off the past couple of years, and they've dropped down for legitimate reasons. But the traditional teams that have been in our Division I, like there's only right now there's only 4 that are left, and the rest of them is usually about 10. So 6 of them have decided, okay, we're going to drop down to Division II and give it our best shot here. So again, you're ducking the best competition. And like Mike said, they're trying to find an easy way to a state championship. But I mean, honestly, I hope a lot of these teams that were originally in Division II and some that dropped to Division III, I hope those teams actually beat those guys that come down, because they're simply ducking competition. I mean, what are they going to do next? Okay, they don't win in Division II, go to Division III.
So you say you had at one point in time it was 10 teams in Division I. Now it's only 4 because 6 of them decide they want to drop down to Division II. So they got a better chance to compete against those other teams. Yeah, man, they talking that smoke, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're ducking that smoke. I actually had NK coach come on my podcast today, and I was very surprised. And he was hollering, "I didn't run from nobody." It's and NK Fran Dempsey, and I was very surprised that an NK coach would come throw people under the bus. He was like, "This team, that team, they all were afraid," and he laid it down what happened in meetings. And coaches get fed up after a while and they want to come speak their truth, and that's what Coach Dempsey did in the comment section today on my
Okay.
show right before this one.
So let me just say this. I want to give a shout out to Coach Dempsey and Coach Washington for having the doing the right thing in staying in Division One, and making sure that there's going to be some competition there. They didn't run, and honestly, that's what this is. They didn't run from the competition. They're going to give it their absolute best shot, okay, and they're going to do their thing. Okay. And if they win, great. And if they don't, that's fine. But at least they gave it their best shot. And that's all you can ask of these kids. But these coaches decided, it doesn't matter. We're not going to run from the best, unlike these other coaches. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And honestly, I don't care. Like, honestly, I know, yes, Hendricken can get this and LaSalle can get that. I get that. I understand it's frustrating. Hendricken's won the state championship, I believe, 12 years in a row. Okay, and it's been against LaSalle for, so it's always been 1 and 2 with them. I understand. They definitely have advantages. I get that. I know it's frustrating. Okay, that's why we have 2 state championships within Division One. We have the state championship and then the Division One championship. I understand that.
Right.
But to sit there and duck them because we just can't beat them. Like to me, again, I'd be throwing the kitchen sink. I'd be throwing the house at these guys. Everything I could possibly do, I'd be throwing at them. And again, if it works, great. And if it doesn't, hey, guess what? It is what it is. You learn from that game and you move on. But unfortunately, these coaches don't want to do that. They just want to go to Division Two and call it done.
Yeah, and now we have a 14-team Division Two. We got a 16-team Division Three. And like I was laying out Cumberland. Everybody could, like, you look at the side that Cumberland landed on, it's like, where is their competition? Of course. So they're in Division 2.5, 2.5. Emerson will be back in just a second, but now you got a team like Pontiganset, which was in D4. All right. You move up to D3. I mean, that's really Division 2.5. But now you got half division from Division 2. So now Division 3 is now a Division 2, and so on. You got a team that came from Division 2, like West Warwick, going to Division 3 this year because, they want to rebuild their program. But guess what? Half of Division 2 followed them now. And everybody in Division 3, Wayne, that went this year was in last year's playoffs in Division 2. How does that work? You make the playoffs, you go backwards? You know what I mean? Are you going to defend your Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Wow. Maybe you said they were so confident that they were so confident that they were not going to go back. Based upon the kids they probably lost and their projections for this season, that they were comfortable with moving down just to have a chance to even be in that conversation to even compete this year. You didn't even try on your current level to go back. Yeah, man. I mean that can be touchy. How often do the schools rezone like that?
Well, every once in a while, I mean, it's going to happen because some teams are, some teams do really, really well and they move up the division, and then some have gotten their butt kicks in the higher division, so they move down. It does happen every 2 years or so or whichever. And honestly, it's for legit reasons. Like, for example, I definitely agree with West Warwick moving down to Division 3 because they need to rebuild, because they've been in Division 2. They've been they're a team that's been traditionally a Division 2 team, and they've done relatively well. They've fallen on some hard times, but they have a great coach here, Coach Pennington, and he's going to do his thing. But he needs a little bit of time to rebuild. So yes, going down a division is definitely going to help him. And that's a legit move. I don't really know what's going on with Classical. That's not really, I don't know what happened there. But and I'm not the type to speculate, but they did just win the Division 2 Super Bowl. But I also know too, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that, just because you won a Super Bowl last year that you're going to be a contender next year, because I mean, Classical is losing a lot of guys next year. so through graduation and stuff. So like, okay, I get that. And, you don't think you can compete. Okay. If you needed that. But again, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate with them, but I know there's some legit teams that need to go down, but the teams that went down in Division I, honestly, they can compete. They can definitely compete and do something against, our top two teams, but they chose the easier route. And it's just unfortunate because above all, the kids suffer because of this.
Now let me ask you this, Coach. By them adjusting the brackets again and being able to move up and move down, how does that impact the players academically? Does it change does it change the demands on them academically? Did it give them a better quality?
No, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything academically. It changes more things athletically. Again, you're not going against the top competition. Yeah, you're not going against the top competition, which should be the measuring stick. I think that and again, I know a lot of us are cut from the similar piece of wood here, but to me, in order to see where you truly stand, you go against the best that is around you. And that's just not happening here right now in Rhode Island. And again, I commend Coach Dempsey and Coach Washington for, doing what they need to do for their programs and getting it done. But it's just awful to see. Like, I can't express enough. It's just awful to see that these teams have decided to drop down because we can't compete with the big boys. I'm sorry, that's not how you do it. What are you teaching these kids? Oh, well, these guys, it's too much. You just run. That to me, that's what it's showing. And it's just unfortunate. But what's done is done. But it's just an embarrassment, and it's unfortunate that I'm around here seeing this because I think that things could have been done much differently. I would have kept, if it was me personally, I would have kept the 10 teams in Division I. What I would have done is, instead of having a playoff for the state championship, it'd be winner take all. 1 versus 2, and then everyone else can play in the playoff for the Division I championship. So you keep the integrity of the top division in the state, and hey, anytime someone can be upset. Everyone knows that saying. Any given Sunday, that gives Central all the credit in the world last year. Central came close; they didn't get it, but it was like within 30 seconds, and I believe they were up. They were up on Hendricken, and then Hendricken came and scored. But again, Central gave them their absolute best shot, and they almost pulled it off. Okay, other teams need to kind of take that example and run with it. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Central being an inner city school, doing what they're doing with the resources they have. Shout out to Mike Washington. Anytime I see inner city programs surviving and doing good in this game of football that we have, that's good because we all know stories of inner city programs that have trouble getting the kids. Seniors have trouble keeping kids in high school until 12th grade, keeping kids away from the school resource officers, keeping kids out of trouble. These inner city programs have a tough job. So shout out to Mike Washington. Shout out to Coach Dempsey for not running from the smoke. And we now know, Dempsey came right on and he pretty much threw everybody under the bus. So shout out to Coach Dempsey. I respect you for doing that. My guy. No, Wayne, but but yeah, so that's a show for the night. So I guess we're good to wrap it up, Wayne. Any last thoughts?
Man, as we get ready to get started on this unfinished business tour, I'm excited about Atlantic City, ready to get on the road, get this thing started. Semi-pro football popping off all over the place, and just ready to get on the road and get back to really what I enjoy, and that's seeing great student athletes from all over the country compete against each other to find that inner apex predator inside of them, man. So again, thank you, Emerson, for coming on. I appreciate you, Bailey, as always. Mike, you're the best in the business, and always my man, Coach Crowell. Man, hey, I can't complain. There's always some good stuff to talk about when you check out Can We Keep It Real podcast. Come on, man.
Emerson would have liked that last segment we had, Wayne, with the MLF. Emerson, they had a bunch of NFL coaches at this kickoff classic last week doing replay reviews. They were training them. But if you go back and watch this episode, Coach Crow was on here and he was like breaking it all down that they had actual NFL officials doing replay review, right, Wayne? A bunch of training was going
Yeah,
on.
it was really dope. It was really dope. A
Cool.
lot of the NCAA official certifications were going on. So you had
Okay.
the NCAA officials not only covering the games, but actually handling the instant replay and the breakdowns. So from a production standpoint, it's really dope to be able to sit there and see how it plays out. You know, typically you call a game in real time, but when you got instant replay, they either 5 seconds ahead or 5 seconds behind. so it's just something you really need to experience and get a chance to see in the press box. But again, so gracious for everyone taking the time out on the Tuesday night to chip in and be able to be a resource to get these people that listen at home viable things to talk about, listen to, and discuss moving forward. I look to learn more about what's going up there in Rhode Island because I see if we got Emerson that fired up, it's a lot more to it than
Today. He didn't even. You
what's
gotta
being
see the
shown.
last time we talked about the realignment. This was
Yeah,
kinda, he must be tired right now.
this that politically correct face. I wait for the can we keep it real face.
He knows
Yeah,
we don't,
so
we don't
I
allow
look
that
forward to
over
getting
here.
detail.
We don't do that PC stuff over
Bailey,
here.
you got any thoughts for this week?
March Madness is happening, so that is something I wish we could have brought up earlier, but my bracket is suffering. And I'm interested to see more about what happens in Rhode Island and what pro days are happening around the US because it's pro day season for the college athletes. So yeah, those are my last thoughts.
A lot of kids going to college from this little state, and I know I see what Samson the bad guy, all the kids in his network, Virginia down. We got some talent. I never seen so much talent from 14 up to high school in the last couple of years. And I blame, it's a lot of these travel leagues that are going on, even though they have trouble seeing straight, button heads, can't get along, all that other stuff is a whole nother story. But they're training these kids, they're coaching them up. So shout out to all the travel leagues in Rhode Island, all the travel leagues down the DMV, all across the country. Tomorrow we're gonna have the Wilmington Eagles coach come on. We're also gonna have the Cape Fear Flight coach come on. So it's gonna be interesting what's going on. Shout out to the professor doing his thing. And Emerson, where can they find you at your glorious gym?
So I am currently sitting at 401 Strength and Fitness, which is 400 Warwick Ave in Warwick, number 7, 8, and 9. Doing all sorts of training right now. Got all types of athletes in here, just getting it done. Been very blessed over the past couple of weeks. Things have been going really well, and want to continue to work with all these athletes. And as I tell everyone, it's not just football. Obviously, I focus on football, but I have every single athlete in here from lacrosse, soccer, softball, wrestling, you name it, is in here. So, if you're looking for a solid workout that's going to get you better on your field or mat or wherever you are, court, look me up and shoot me a line and we'll get it going.
Okay, excellent, man. Appreciate it, guys. Any last thoughts for you, Bailey?
Nope. It's just as long as
March Madness.
As long as my bracket survives, it's all in the hands of Duke, but no pressure, Duke. No pressure, Coach K.
So Emerson, thank you. Wayne, thank you. Voice Sports, can we keep it real? It's been a long day. I did an hour before this, but I'll leave you guys with this video. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Friends, not everybody, the older coaches. They want to cry, they want to go to these RIIL meetings, and they want to cry, we're not competitive, we can't do this. I can't be in. What are we doing here?
Oh, he wilding right now.
Rhode Island, stand up, man.
I'm trying to put on for my city. I'm trying to put on for my city, man.
Be honest with you, I'm pissed off.
D1. But I don't want to be called D2.
Getting things correct in the most timely manner possible.
But we're never going to win a championship.
Oh, has some winners, has some losers.
So don't try to mislead these listeners.
It was ugly. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get in trouble. But it was probably one of the ugliest games I've ever seen.
This is why people need to make noise, bring this to the light, so these people can be exposed and be embarrassed. I think they should be embarrassed.
And what we can do to fix it.
Because you like the person. Oh, that's my dog. But he told me not to tell anybody, so.
But boy, the repercussions.
When I drop you off, you never see your father. Saw 48 hours of the week. It's not enough for us to speak. It's not enough for me to teach. I wanna hug you. You're out of reach. You're so far away. I just want you here with me. Just know this wasn't up to me. Driving from your mama crib, I find it hard to breathe. Hard to tell you what I mean, but I never wanna leave. There's things I must protect you from. I only can 2 days out the week. I only feel like a man on them 2 days out the week. The rest of the time, I'm on my grind sometimes.